Peace. And happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now, I want to talk about the full moon in Taurus. Full moon energy. That's dealing with you know reaping what we sow. That intention, that seed we planted during that new moon is now showing itself at this full moon. And the full moon, the moon in general deals with our emotions. A matter of fact, more of a feminine connection. And with the full moon being in Taurus, like it's gonna have our focus basically strongly. Basically, you could just say the theme of this full moon is what do we value in life? You know what I'm saying? And are we undervaluing something, or are we overvaluing something? So kind of like dealing with that little area. And that's whether it's a person, place, or thing. But more so in the vibration of something more physical, a property or money, things of that nature. Because matter of fact, that's the energy that Taurus deals with. Taurus, matter of fact, ruled by Venus, which Venus is in retrograde. So we're not only dealing with Venus from it being in retrograde, but from what influence it has over Taurus in essence as well. We definitely, as a matter of fact, the Taurus energy in essence deals with being affectionate, being determined and practical, loving material things. The Earth sign, Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Earth things, like material, and being here on the physical plane, and more so just dealing with material things, and one of the aspects that will be pointed out in essence that we should be aware of is also, because this is an aspect that comes from the actual planets that's aligned. So say for instance we got 7 planets and fixed signs. And matter of fact, as we talk about a fixed sign, that means the energy is fixed in the, because matter of fact, you can see Taurus. Taurus is a fixed sign itself. You know what I'm saying? And fixed mean it's fixed in the middle, because you got like this 3 little spots right here, and this one fixed in the middle, in between. These two. So you see where that terminology come from in essence. One of the reasons, but with that fixed energy, with 7 planets being in fixed sign and Taurus being a fixed sign as well, and Taurus giving off an energy of possibly being stubborn and resistant to change. So we're gonna be dealing too with the question of like what is it that I'm fixed on? Like what is it that I'm fixed on that I need to let go? A lot of times we may have these rigid, this rigid daily routine, or rigid way about doing something that basically no longer serves us. Well, we just making sure we rigid in this area, like, oh man, I can't do this without that. I can't, I gotta brush my teeth twice while looking in the mirror, and spin 2 times around before I do that. But all right, is that beneficial for you, or you're always being late for work, or always doing, is always throwing some energy off or something, what I'm saying? Is so basically the things that you fix on, are they beneficial to you, And it still kind of just stems to the whole vibration again of the Venus energy also, or just like the Venus retrograde of like us dealing with relationships. Is this relationship beneficial, or is it unbeneficial? With the full moon again, we dealing with what do we value in life. Do you and matter of fact, and that being the focus again, What are we undervaluing? What are we overvaluing? You know, matter of fact, I feel it already coming into before it even get here. Like me dealing back with my crystals a little more. Matter of fact, shout out to my brethren for hooking me up with a few newbies. But getting back to dealing with my crystals on that on a high type of level. That was something that I was kind of undervaluing that I should value a little more again. Matter of fact, because I got lost in the sauce of. I even say get lost in the sauce is part of my spiritual growth of just getting into other information, but just not losing my way with because a lot of my aim with my other spiritual intellect to a certain extent had more of a, not say egotistical aim, but just more of the sense of like of course learning to help myself grow, but also just to be intellectual and just learning to be intellectual in the sense of like, oh yeah, I'm intellectual. That's more of an ego vibe of like, well yeah, hey, I know this, I know that, I know this, you know what I'm saying? And I be having to watch myself with that, like, and getting to the things that really deal with my purpose, that my soul really, is connected with, which is the crystals. But again, what do we value? And matter of fact, making sure that we're pay attention to these areas that we're rigid in, daily routines, things that we just fixed on doing that may no longer serve us. We always smoke a cigarette after lunch. That's our little fixed thing. We always do that. That's the tradition. Matter of fact, and another thing what we dealing with too, just generally in spirituality, breaking down tradition for the fact of just acknowledging, just what makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, where we hold on to these rigid traditions, mama say we go to church, this and that, or daddy say we go wave this Confederate flag, this and that, or such and such say, you know what I'm saying? But whatever these rigid conditions, be these traditions, I should say, speaking to that, like, these traditions where it's like, just because so-and-so did it, or just because my mom, spit in everybody's face, I'm spitting everybody's face too. That's just our tradition. Like, instead of like, but my heart say that, it's not really a respectful thing to spit in people's face. My heart, my soul, tell me that. But the tradition of what my family say do, and so it's like, have to be aware of not being too rigid in tradition, as well, because a lot of us are rigid in traditions that no longer serve us. That's why I tell people, for me speaking from, where I could speak from, melanated bodysuit, I be telling people, not being too rigid in, the ancestors or the tradition this, the tradition that. We are down here to bring down new information and to change a lot of these traditions. We are here to break down a lot of the old traditions, even ones that come from, whether melanated, unmelanated, no matter what the fucking tradition come from. If it's unbeneficial to where we're moving, then it's getting broke down, point blank period, So just that aspect of, honoring the soul over tradition. Honor what makes sense for a soul, for intellectual soul, not this human stuff. But I digress. I also picked up on the vibe to just share this. I don't think I normally say this, but like dealing with, when we dealing with moon energy, which I probably indirectly spoke to it in the essence, but like, full moon, new moon, when dealing with a lot of these moon energies, is also gonna amplify or kind of raise up the energy of the moon sign within us. So say for instance, if you're out with the sidereal astrology, sidereal astrology follows the way the cosmos actually was, and actually it follows the way the cosmos actually is, like where the actual constellations are in the sky, and where they actually were in the sky when you were born, compared to, you know, the fixed Western astrology, where it's just it just goes off of the elliptical. Matter of fact, in essence, matter of fact, it's Western astrology. It goes off the elliptical. You know, it doesn't. Matter of fact, I say, for instance, Ophiuchus would be right here. So when you get your natal chart doing sidereal astrology, Ophiuchus would be in between Sagittarius and Scorpio. And matter of fact, Ophiuchus indirectly is mentioned. I don't know if it's in the story of the 12 tribes of Israel or in because matter of fact, the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 apostles are both, the zodiac signs. Just different parts. Matter of fact, in essence, it's the same story getting told over and over. But like the story of Ophiuchus is in there where they speak on like the snakes biting at the legs of I think that's in the 12 tribes of Israel, but the snakes biting at the legs of the horse, and this and that. But it's like that story was a personification of the snakes from Ophiuchus, because the Ophiuchus energy also, to a certain extent, is the Kundalini representation of that, and is also dealing with Imhotep, the healer energy, matter of fact, the Caduceus staff, that's why, the people use the little, in essence, the Kundalini symbol, as the healing thing. And Imhotep was, person who had, the knowledge of all different things, just all, but definitely known as a healer as well. But again, so with that, because a lot of people too, get that vibe. Oh, so you're saying, matter of fact, like I even had somebody said the other night, man, I just got say for Aries tatted on me. I just got Capricorn tatted on me. Oh no, I'm a Capricorn. I ain't changing that shit. I mean, yeah, you could still honor, the Western astrology, in essence, but just know that the sidereal is speaking on, say for instance, because that's the true essence of our zodiac signs. In essence, is like the star. So say for instance, I am a star that vibrates at a certain energy, and I give off a certain energy, and depending on if I'm here or in LA, is how effective my energy is here or in LA. It goes with my movement. So the fact that as above, so below. So if my movement affects the vibration I give off and where it's felt the strongest, then as above, so below. If I'm born in a certain area, I gotta map out the true placement of the star to know the true energy of what's going on. So as much as it may like, oh well, no, I gotta learn something new or something different. Hey, that's the name of the game. That's what we down here for. Enjoy. Get to study and getting to learn some new things, and starting to decipher, because again, you want to be lazy-minded. You just want the Freemasonry school system to just indoctrinate you with that one degree of knowledge. You want somebody to just like, hey, tell me how to do this. Tell me how to do this. That's why everybody and again, I'm not we not trying to clown in a derogatory manner, but and that's why people look for preachers, like, oh, I'm looking for a preacher, a guru, this and that, because that they create that type of vibe, subconsciously, even with having everybody looking to the fake Jesus in the sky, that whole vibe. But I digress. Again, had to add that in there, but yeah, the moon sign definitely. Your moon sign may definitely come out, with most of the, moon sight, whether it's new moon or full moon. And I would say a little more intense during the full moon, as far as on the visible vibe. The moon, your moon sign would, be more subtle during the new moon. Matter of fact, the moon, in essence, our moon sign deals with our instincts and unconsciousness. That's why, like, matter of fact, in the moon sign is almost like, our shadow self, in essence. So, getting information about your moon sign, because too, our sun sign, is what we choose to show people, conscious, like, I gotta consciously show people this, indirectly, and the say for instance, like the sun sign is almost like if if I had to think before I act, this is how I'm gonna do it. The moon sign is more so like if something happened, like ooh, instinctually, how would I move? It'll be in the motion of my moon sign compared to like thinking it out and like, well, I gotta do it like this. It's more of the sun sign. But I digress. But again, back into the vibes of just dealing strongly with what do we value, what do, and matter of fact, again, also still dealing with relationships, so still kind of have a vibe of, what relationship do I value? Because I mean, things that you value in essence, you have a relationship with, so you kind of see how that fit in there, so what do we value in life, do I really, again, for myself, like really loving to deal with the crystals, or really wanting to travel, you know what I'm saying? Like if I really want to travel, then, it's time to focus on that, you know, and honoring that. And matter of fact, also, being careful at like dealing with, say for instance, purchasing certain things, of a substantial price, let's just say, because with this vibe of you, like, dealing with, am I undervaluing, overvaluing things? You may get caught up in the vibe of overvaluing something, you know what I'm saying? Overvaluing something and kind of impulsing on, getting something that you really didn't value, because again, you kind of just impulse in the midst of just, while having it on the Libra scale, because we coming out of that Libra energy, it's like, oh, value, I'm gonna just get it, and it's like, then you kind of come to find out when that energy kind of, that energy dissipates and kind of quiets down, and you realize, I ain't really value that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really, want to buy that, So it's basically that energy, Copper is the energy that's associated with Venus, So you working with copper-based crystals is gonna be good. Always, bring up the malachite. But with this energy, chrysocolla, chrysocolla has a nice feminine energy to it, Matter of fact, speaking of what we value, chrysocolla, deals with the higher heart chakra as well as the heart chakra. So, like that little in between the throat and the heart chakra, that higher heart, but the things that, that we value in essence has to deal with, the things that we love, you know what I'm saying? What I love, I value, you know what I'm saying? I love to see different sceneries and stuff like that, so I value traveling, So again, working with copper based on turquoise, chrysocolla, malachite, and you got little mixes of like malacola and like malachite and chrysocolla mix. You got shatukite, you got Elliot stone. What else you got? It's a few copper-based stones. Dioptase. I think dioptase and diopside. I think it may be dioptase, but I digress on one of those. But in matter of fact, in most cases, copper-based crystals are gonna have like a greenish color in it, or like a teal color. But definitely dealing with the copper crystals. And also dealing with the vibes of like, letting go of rigidness, rigidness that no longer serves us. Working with Snowflake Obsidian to be great right now. Matter of fact, Snowflake Obsidian and just other black crystals associated. Matter of fact, because other black crystals are associated with Saturn's energy, that Chronos, Chronos stemming to the word chronological order. You know, chrono, Saturn, time, karma. You know, but dealing with, again, you know, Saturn deals with structure, you know, responsibility, boundaries, you know. And Snowflake Obsidian helps us to reflect on growing away from things that no longer serves us. And with it also being a black crystal is also going to kind of be tapped into that Saturnian energy, you know, and helping to deal with letting go of, you know, these rigid daily routines, you know, that no longer serves us. Basically breaking out of stubborn patterns. Because matter of fact, again, you get that vibe from having 7 planets and fixed signs, but also Taurus is a fixed sign itself, and Taurus energy deals with stubbornness and resistance to change. You know what I'm saying? So again, that, you know, and in essence, the full moon is our emotions that, you know, that are reflected in these areas. You know, what are we? Because again, you know, what are we emotionally involved in, or what do we, again, like we value, but it's going to be tapped in from a more, you know, emotional, you know what I'm saying, again, like, say for instance, back to the point of like with what we value and watching yourselves with, you know, what you're purchasing and stuff like that, because with it's a full moon energy, you know, lunar tick, you know, you may be too in the emotions about the situation, you know, and not really making a logical choice. And another crystal to work with is emerald. Matter of fact, emerald resonates with the Taurus energy. You know, emerald help to, you know, to attract abundance, attract what we love. You know, also deals with, you know, companionship. Should I say, like, you know, bringing at ease, or just, you know, making relationships men or come together, in essence. Trying to find all these different words. But emerald also helps with memory and the mental capacity as well. But definitely with you know, just that heart chakra energy, you know, doing what we love, you know, and being confident about it. Again, honoring the, you know, the love of luxury in life, you know what I'm saying? That Taurus energy. You know, Taurus people, you know, they, you know, like to eat different foods, you know, different experiences, you know, artistic, you know. That's that whole vibe. But that's basically it. Again, what do we value in life? Are we undervaluing something, or are we overvaluing something, whether it's person, place, or thing? You know, and what routines are we fixed on that no longer serve us, that we should let go of? You know, we're gonna be dealing with that mainly as well. But that's basically it. So, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrative course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace.